No love for rank 34?
No love for rank 34. Hell, there's no love for 1, 2, and 3 from my camp. Respect, yes. Love, no. All right, I guess panel members. I guess we should introduce ourselves. Why don't we start with you, Aurora?
Hi, my name's Aurora. I'm from X55 and I'm the GM for Moria.
Nice to meet you. Dark Wolfus.
Hi, I'm Alora. I'm from server X20 and I'm a member of Fireside.
Honey Badger.
Yeah, hi everyone. Honey Badger here. Member of Sanctuary, representing Maverick here. He's the GM.
Good to have you, Honey Badger. Myth Dragon.
Hey there, this is Myth Dragon, server X312, represent Valor.
Okay. Nan?
Yes, I'm Nanarada. You guys can call me Nan. We're X323 representing Goated. I'm the GM.
Skills?
Hello everybody, I'm Skills. I'm from X20, but I am in Twisted Legends Guild, represented here.
Kill Denoise.
Hello, I'm Kill. Servers X72 for New Wolf Order.
NWO. Glad you're here. Kyle, aka Hand of Lilith.
Hey, I'm Cal, server X1, GM of Glorious.
Azazel. All right, Azrael. Gnome, you want to say hi?
Hey everybody, I'm Gnome, server X160, the best in the West. I'm a member of Diamond Dogs, led by Admiral Fearheart, and good to be part of the panel. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that sounded very official. Hey, Toothless.
What's up everybody, I'm Toothless from X34, and I'm playing Wolfpack X, which is the original server.
Eligos.
I'm Eligos, X258, Reforged. Pretty sure everybody knows who we are.
The bad guys?
Working. I'm Elenia from Albania.
Just want to congratulate everybody on a rough season. Season 8 seemed like it dragged twice as long as Season 7, which dragged twice as long as Season 6. And again, I want to congratulate the top 5. You know, starting with Toothless from Wolfpack. Tooth, anything you want to say to your guys?
Great job, and you guys played hard, fight the challenges during the season. I think we did a little better managing our resources this season than we did previous ones for Dustin. So we're just looking to have better resource management and maybe a little better time management next season, but great job overall.
Also want to congratulate the 4th place finish, Kill Denoise in the NWO. Kill, anything you want to say?
Nothing, just thanks to everybody. Thanks for a good season. Less drama than the rest. Looking forward to the next one.
Now, 3rd place finish. Fireside, what would you like to say to the crowd?
Well, I want to thank everybody that was in my guild. Worked really hard and got much more coordinated than we were the previous season. Looking forward to the next season as well.
Good to hear. Kyle, you guys finished 2nd. What would you like to say to the audience and your guild?
Yeah, I think just great job, a lot of teamwork, coordination. Seen a lot of great guilds this last season. Expecting to see a lot more next season. Definitely agree with Kill, a lot less drama going on in this past season, so it's definitely good to see that. Definitely looking forward to next season.
Now the back-to-back champions, Reforge. Back-to-back. Anyway, Eligos, what would you like to say to the community and your fellow guildmates?
I'd like to thank my guildmates. I mean, their dedication is unparalleled. Their activities, awesome. To the community, I'm glad we got rid of a lot of the drama, and it was a lot nicer this year. Playful drama's nice. Was pretty nasty last season, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
All right, again, congratulations to the top 5. Now, I guess now we have a panel. So questions from the audience are always appreciated. Does anyone have anything specific on the panel they want to discuss? Anyone have any strong feelings on matchmaking on this panel that they'd like to share?
I think matchmaking is getting better every season. Actually, the beginning is still just an entirely random shoot, and that's not great. But towards the end, it's I would rather it wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. You get a little bit more variety in the people you're fighting, but overall, I think they're doing better.
Dustin from the crowd says matchmaking sucks. Dustin, what are your feelings on matchmaking? What would you like to see? And then maybe we can get a panelist to respond. Dustin thinks random all the way. I kind of like that because I don't like fighting the same people every other week. But let's see what Myth Dragon.
You don't like running into me repeatedly, Rom?
No, I do not like running into you repeatedly. Did you like running into me repeatedly season 6?
Personally, I think the 3-team system's not good. I'd rather see 2v2 with 4 teams or 1v1. And I think a bracket style tournament would be better too.
I'm definitely open.
Just the same people over and over and over.
I'm open to the bracket.
I think the bracket's a really nice idea because we won't constantly be going from the bottom 50 to the top 1, 2, and 3 all the time, and then you lose your spot in top 50. So I think a bracket would be a really nice idea to for different people as well.
We have some concerns from Diesel. He says he doesn't like being thrown into the deep end of the pool as a younger player.
And I agree with him. We had random matchmaking before, so I think you'll be like with the bracket system will be nice, but maybe cut the season in half. The first half you fight for top 50, second half and top 50 or top 60 something, go into a bracket face off for first place, second and third, and so on.
Well, I agree with everyone here. Just to play devil's advocate here for a second, on the other side, I agree with what Eligo said about 4v or 2v2 or 4 teams or 1v1. But if you think the 3-team system that GC has now, it does require us to be a little more active in the community. You can't just be a bully. You have to make friends. You have to have the politics, and while that does create drama and it sucks, it also does foster good relationships and allows us to make friendships and quote unquote business deals with each other to keep everybody active in that aspect. So if I can kind of see both sides.
In a 4-up situation, I'd like to see some mechanic where you're not just stuck in with somebody random, like you don't just like this is your team and this is how it goes. Something more like if you remember the original like Age of Empires, the computer game where you can make and break alliances and then have a separate chat for that so you can coordinate. I think that would be a better way to do that.
I just know that the last couple seasons, I feel like there's more stress put on my guild and I have to use more resources to stay in the top 10. Because I'm fighting the top guilds over and over again, and there's never a rest and there's never a break, and it's really leading to burnout. So I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather see one conquest a week, and then maybe have Sails and Sabers, then another conquest, and then have that Summertide garbage, and then another conquest. So it's broken up a little bit more, so you could actually give 100% to each game mode, and not have 3 of them running at the same time. That's I don't know how you guys feel about something like that, or if that would just take too much out of the game because there's not enough to do.
I think the second part, it will take too much out of the game. I think we need a consistent GC. And for the portion where you said random matchmaking top 50, that was how we did it in the past, and honestly, I did not like that. It will put us up against smaller guilds who had no reason to go up against the Forge or D53 or whoever was running it back in the days. And then the top players will see each other like maybe once or twice during the whole season. So I think the way it's fun, it's just more of because if you want to avoid the top, it's easy to avoid the top. You just don't have to win every single round. Throw a second place here and there.
Dude, you throw third places here and there all the time.
Yeah, and there you go. And
What-
it works out. I don't have to face Kitty and Forge or anybody else on top of this and waste all my resources in the first 3 matches.
I've always said you're the smartest player in the game because of how you've managed resources. But I'm just saying, if I have to fight in the top 3, and I'll always stick by this, every other week, I should get more points than the people fighting in the mid-pack because I have to go in the top 3. And I feel like the points aren't scaled correctly. I feel like the matchmaking should be more of a league style where they take the top 20 and set a schedule. And then when the big guilds do fight, it's a bigger event and it's actually worth paying attention to, as opposed to going back to the 1, 2, 3. Just gonna stay in base and set rallies.
I like what Elego said. Like the first half of the season, like we're still in season 2. You go, the first round will be 2-on-2, or I think not 2-on-2, like a 4-way fight. Then it concentrates not on one guild or 2 guilds, or a license is still gonna happen regardless. But then you go into the second bracket where it'll be random matchmaking for the top portion, top 64, let's say, and then the next 64 will do their own bracket, and then those will be 1v1s.
Well, a 1v1 map would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it would. I think too, instead of the way they have it bracketed out now with like Pearl, going through Seastone, Pearl, all those, I think they should do it by guild power instead of by points. That way you don't have guilds that restart or drop down on purpose to farm the new players, so that you're fighting people your own power too. I think that would help out too. So put a cap on each tier of Guild Conquest for guild power wise, and then have them fight for their own top 50. If they could do something like that, I think that would help the game too.
It's a shame we don't have a dev on call to actually take in some of these ideas. As far as some of the questions that are coming,
recording.
Oh, that is. As far as some of the questions, let's ask Skills. The guild you're in this season was in the mid pack. How do you feel those matches went?
With the guild that I'm in now, being in mid pack, some of them went well, some of them was great fights, but I found ourselves always towards the jumping in and out of the top 50, and then we're facing people that me alone could sit there and just block them in and gain a whole bunch of resources, but we allowed them to grab resources too, so they was trying to compete to where they could be in that bad.
So I guess the gist is their matches are either completely one-sided or somewhat competitive.
Yeah, so we finished 31st. So when we jumped up into the top 50, we would face people that was way stronger than us, that had more people that was higher in power, and then so we get dropped back down. So it was a cat and mouse game trying to finish in the top 50.
So that's some interesting questions. Elegos, who did Reforge have the hardest time fighting, or who gave you guys the best match this season?
Honestly, it was probably NWO and Wolfpack. Activity kills, and we've always been really good at being super active all the time, and those two guilds really bumped up in strength this year and activity. They had coverage pretty much around the clock, which is always tough to deal with. I'm sure you know. And I think they're both probably going to be up and coming for fighting for the next, for the top this next season too. Just because they have such depth now.
That's high praise. Kill, Tooth, anything you want to say to that?
Yeah, I appreciate the comment there, and we are very aware of how difficult it is to deal with you for 48 hours because you're always away. Yeah, I do appreciate the comment that the guys did work hard, and we did get lucky with the time zone players. that are in our guild, and so I think there's still a little gap in coverage that we're working out. It's about 3 hours, but we're pretty close to full 24, having at least one or two larger players on at a time. And we do try to utilize pretty good teamwork without spoiling each other's builds. Everybody seems to be very protective of their own personal style, but we do help each other as much as we can. So hopefully moving forward, we can maybe challenge Reforged a little better this season. I know he says we were a good challenge, but I feel like it wasn't quite enough for them. So maybe this next season we can give them a little more.
Guild, anything you want to add to that?
Let me get all the Reforged addresses so I can send you guys some melatonin. Take a quick nap. Give me a chance.
Okay.
Those photos asking.
Kill the Noise wants to drug your guild.
Just give them sleep and rest. That's what I want to do for you guys. I'm looking out for your guild.
Sorry, I just try to make sure that everybody can get out and get outside in the sun when they play us in Guild Conquest. So
Let's see. Any good questions out there, Alenia, from the crowd? Or any comments or anything anybody wants a critique for Goat Games?
Haley Smurf is asking what guild is Gnome in.
Oh, we finished 41st, I believe, so we're not in any high-end competitive guilds, or high-end competitive Guild Conquest. But we have our techniques, and we have some amazing players that all put forth a lot of time and energy. They spend a ton in resources, and they really enjoy Guild Conquest. Of course, I would probably play it more and get a bit more serious about it if the Goat Games fixed a few things that drive me nuts. But I think everybody... I'm way underclassed in this group of people right here. Everybody here is super powerful, but hopefully we can compete with them this season because we got some new people in and we're ready to go.
Sounds great. And the guild name was Diamond Dogs, right?
Oh yeah, Diamond Dogs.
There's also people asking if we're getting a new map this season, but we don't know. We will have to wait and see.
I could say the map that we had this season is atrocious. It's too small, too many choke points, and I think it's too easy to lock it down. Even though there were 3 exits, it felt smaller or harder to break free than the old map that had 2. I don't know if other people agree with that.
You could control the map pretty easy.
What's everyone's favorite map?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Citadel when it looked like a big giant raptor. That was my favorite map. That snow map.
If the devs do listen to this, Nightcrow said bigger maps, all 50 members. I 100% agree with that. I hate having to rotate people in and out of GC that are active in the guild.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. It definitely makes it tough trying to rotate people and making sure that everybody gets a fair chance to actually get in and fight.
Maybe not the full 50 because, at mid-pack, it's pretty hard to fill a full 50, but 35 or even 40 would be cool.
That would also probably cause major lag issues, considering if it's 3 guilds against each other with 50 members there, that would be 150 players in a map.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. But I think maybe at least a 25 or 30 would be nicer. If they can increase it little by little and then just see what their max capacity can be to hold the servers. Because then there's going to be a lot of crashing and bugs. And we already have some of that in GC.
I was about to say we already have crashing, bugs, and extreme lag.
Those are features, actually.
We can also do a 1v1 idea with 30 players for each guild.
I think 1v1 would definitely be a better option than the 2v1. I mean, every single match I've been in, it always turns out to be a double team, or at least any match that counts, that has any standing. 2 of the guilds always work together to take out the third. Even when they say they don't do that, they just can't help it. It just happens naturally.
Yeah, if in a 3-team situation, even if you want a 1v1, the other team, and the third team sits out, they end up getting second. So it's always ends up being a 2v1, no matter how you look at it.
I also got to say, major shout out to players that aren't whales or that don't spend a lot or lower power level, but they still log on, they still take towers, they still do a great job. So major shout out to y'all too, because you make some of these teams amazing.
Agreed.
Are you running for public office? You're pandering for the free-to-play vote?
Those players you're talking about, Gnome is pretty much my entire guild, so...
Yeah, those small players are my favorite. The little guys that run and take towers.
Ours too.
We have an insomniac that does ours. She's on all hours of the day and night, and she just keeps running.
Well, I'm definitely not the sleeplessness is, I think, very taxing. So, does anybody else think we need a bigger break in between matches? Because I honestly feel like there's no break.
Yeah. That would be lovely.
Yeah, they need to give about a 2-week break.
No, but I mean the individual matches. Like you finish, and the next day you're registered. It's just I feel like there's no day with 0 where you're free of conquest.
I think the 1 day break would be okay if the matches were 1 day instead of 48 hours straight. 24 on, 24 off. I think that would probably be a little bit better for people than 48 on, 1 off.
And was it Myth earlier that mentioned Sails and Sabers, then a Guild Conquest, then a Isles, and then another Guild Conquest? It just give people a little breather.
That was me. That's what I would love. You know, I go into a lot of these conquest matches, and I'll end up staying up for 48 hours straight. You know, or trying to play from work, which is ridiculous. I got to minimize everything, try to hide the apps in the background at work. Depending on
that's how they're going to burn people out. They're going to burn people out heavily this way. It needs to be changed some way or another.
I mean, I want more of a break. I want more of a rest. Like when I play this game mode, I'm starting to really despise it because of all the hours it takes.
Yeah, and there's also, the other game modes like the Luxus tournament. I think that it's a really good game mode and could be paid attention more by other players. But if you're having to focus on whatever the aura is, if you're having to retrait your champs or choose different champs, that takes away from GC, and so some people will preferentially pick one over the other, and so you really don't get to play it to the fullest if you're focused on GC at the end of the season and you're wanting to stay competitive, and you can't change all your stuff every time that the Luxus comes about. And so I think you guys are right. They need to alternate stuff for sure.
If Valley was fixed and if it was put into some form of a ladder, I think that would even be good, and shorten it so it's not so long, and then alternate Guild Conquest with a proper Valley. And I know that the Go Games said that they're not going to mess with Valley, but Valley's my favorite part of the game. You don't have to spend anything on it. You get to test all your teams. There's a bunch of great players that I play in Valley. And so if they would just alternate Valley and Guild Conquest, and then maybe do the Luxus tournament when they're doing Valley, I think that would give a nice break.
So you're with me that there's just not enough downtime to really focus on, like Summer Tides. I never do Summer Tide. It's too much effort, especially during a conquest round against a major guild. Like I find as soon as I turn away and walk away from the computer during a very close conquest, all my teams end up back at the Crystal because I wasn't there. To either step off the tower or keep moving to send them back. Oh, we have a question from Murderous. He wants to know where the discussion panel is for the bottom 50 guilds.
I think Luxus would be better if they were separate from your roster. Like you just had access to all the champs, all the traits, and could just build a team. And it would put it on an even playing field for everybody. because Luxus heavily favors old accounts that have the depth and the ability to change and all the traits and all that too. I think that would make Luxus so much more interesting if it was just like a separate roster with everything available to everybody, and then just the person that builds the best team wins, instead of how it is now. And then you wouldn't even have to worry about Guild Conquest messing with your Luxus roster.
I could see that being interesting, but that would kind of take away, though, from everybody who built up their accounts. But if everybody had an even playing field in a Luxus tournament, then those same people would want to do the same thing, though, in Conquest. And they would make arguments that the older accounts are too big and too strong. Like, I know when I'm playing Conquest, you know, the Romulus account is about 1 billion might, and it feels like a speed alt when I'm fighting either Reforged or Tainted Dragons or Baron C, because, you know, she could just run through the map and kill them all with no problem. And the only accounts that could really stop her is maybe the Nightmare account or Gorilla. And I feel like there's a lot of that going on in Conquest, where one account just pretty much kills everything, and you're lucky if you have an answer to counter it.
I agree with that.
I think it'd be if we could remove the barrier for moving vigor around, or at least make it so those vigor transfusion items, or you need way less of them, or it's way cheaper. People could actually experiment a little bit with comps, and actually open up some of these things. Also, like, Bulko takes out, I'd say, probably 70% of the available traits in the game. So you're pretty much making all those traits irrelevant right away. I think you'd have more fun, and with the resources that we already have, if we could make some changes there.
Yeah, that's been a major issue for people, is being able to move around bigger. Like, once you have a large amount of bigger on a champion, it's a big choice to move it to anything else for most players.
Especially on a Bloodcraft.
Yeah.
You know, on the topic of Bilko, I remember there was a panel like this, or there was an event like this, and we were told that they would eventually be in the eggs, and maybe even be in those little boxes. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick of the convoking events, the kind of ripoff. And when is this Bilko going to become, you know, something you can kind of farm every week, farm a little bit of it, and grind your way to get it? You know, or is this just going to be one of their pay-to-win kind of items, and then they're going to come out with something else the second they make it, you know, reasonable to acquire, like they did with the female Davala?
Well, I thought he was supposed to be put in the eggs, wasn't given the time, but they said within a few months, and here it is. 3 months later since that last call, and it's not been put in there. Because what is it? To get it fully, it's like $2,500.
Is it $2,500?
$1,500, something like that. I can honestly say I've spent the last time that event came out to be able to move them up to where I'm at. I spent like $600. So I went from 7-star up to 10-star, $600.
One of my guildmates dropped $800 on the last Bilko convoking event, and he only managed to squeak it out to 13 stars. He's pretty furious about that. That's a lot of money not to even get the item.
I heard Ron was gonna buy everybody on the panel Bilko on the next one.
On the topic of Bulko, I don't think that they're going to put them in the eggs till they really release the next tier of sprites, to be honest.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that's the kind of thing that makes people or players want to quit the game.
It is
I
frustrating.
agree.
Can you imagine what the next tier of sprites is actually going to do? Like, if Bulko's so powerful.
Right?
If they come out
Nobody can do basic attack for the first 20 seconds, no energy gain.
If they come out with a mythic sprite, I'll probably end up quitting the game, to be honest. And I'm not like an idle threat, but there would be no point then. Because if somebody's willing to drop that much more money to win, at what point do you just say, take it? You know, I don't need this aggravation.
Did any of you see Rage Panda 1's video on some suggestions for GOAT games? Because right now they want to make money off of people being competitive when they could probably make just as much or more from graphic advancements or special skins kind of thing. I think it's a good idea.
Well,
I agree. That as well.
I gotta say, a lot of people on this panel are special kind of crazy, and we don't care about that. We just want to beat each other at the end of the day. I just don't want to have to pay $1,000 to do it.
I would disagree with that.
I'll pay $250.
Well, if they went to cosmetics, then you wouldn't have to drop as much money as you have to right now to stay competitive, and you wouldn't have to spend as much time either.
Just like to point out that money on this is almost the perfect panel to unionize the players. Just saying.
I'm open for that. I tried to do that on another server with a round table, but it kind of fell apart. Couldn't get one issue agreed upon.
I kind of came in and broke the table though, so.
I don't know what you did, but that's not what broke the table. Trust me. There's a bigger pain in the rumpus in the early days of that table that broke it.
Yeah, I'd definitely love to see some guild-based PvE content too. Something where there's a boss that the entire guild gets to attack or something.
Wasn't Guild Conquest originally supposed to be PvE?
I believe it was.
I think I read that
But
somewhere.
the guild bosses right now, they all die in one hit, so.
Could someone,
right?
Hold on. This I can't figure out for the life of me. Summertide event. How come everybody doesn't get to kill the bosses? Why is it the guy who decides to drop 30 torches the first hour it's open, or the first 5 minutes it's open, pretty much gets to win the whole thing if they keep pushing?
It used to be like that when it first came out, and then they changed it.
Well, no, all the creatures would be dead, but now all the creatures stay and all the bosses stay dead. So if somebody gets to the boss before you,
They used to reset it every day at reset, because when I was in X20 on Fireside, people were pushing, and then the next day I could go through and kill bosses and get the coins, but try my chance at the chest and everything. But here the last 2 months they haven't done anything like that.
does anybody have on the panel any good conquest stories they want to share for the season?
Coming up through the ranks before we made top 50, we were pretty much undefeated because we don't believe in truces or any of that stuff. But our first defeat was a doozy, but that group was pretty small, and they just had a few strong players, so we managed to join up with them and actually place top 50. That was pretty cool.
Our last match was my favourite. We were against Tuck and Shan, and we had gotten up pretty far. So we were really excited, and we were completely annihilated, but it was the most fun we'd had, so it was good. Everyone was positive, and it was a lot of fun. But we went from like 18th to 39th, so but it was good.
Definitely a shout out to, of course, our last match, Sanctuary and Shenanigans. They both did great, but the last probably 15 or 20 minutes of our match with Sanctuary, they went hard. They spent everything that they had resource-wise left, to try to escape out of the spawn. We were trying to take all the extra points, and they really pushed us, challenged us, and not only did they do a great job working together to divide us so they could get out, but it also kind of put our guild in a position that we haven't been in before, and it really brought us together, and we had some really great teamwork. So shout out to Sanctuary for kind of driving us into that situation that now we know that we can handle stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got to say, Lithas, that was quite fun, that last 10 or 15 minutes. We were definitely keen to make his work for that one.
I haven't heard from TD at all. What's going on, Tainted Dragons? How about Fireside? Anything special this season?
Actually, we brought everything together and were able to work out how to do rallies well and communicate through Discord. The first half of the season was a little bit rough, but I think we got things put together by the end. And that was just really nice.
That's actually one thing that I want to mention for teams that are kind of trying to shoot for 50. Getting out of game communications like Discord or Slack or what have you, that's so huge. The game chat is just brutal.
I have to say, all of our biggest wins in D53 has always been with a voice call up, and at least 2 or 3 people keeping each other awake at 4 in the morning, pressing the map or policing the map. So I definitely agree with you there. That voice calls are a huge tool, and I guess I'm not sure with Slack, but I hear people use Slackline and other ways to communicate. That also helps organize and keep things running correctly.
I actually got to say that anybody who's up with you at 4 o'clock in the morning, you got to praise their dedication.
Hey, are you able to hear me now?
My guild is.
Yes.
Yeah,
We can.
the people in my
Okay, awesome. Cool.
the people in my guild that work hard. They do work hard, and I even got a few friends from other guilds that'll come on and keep me company, and keep us company while we're fighting tooth and nail. And I will say the biggest pain in our backside in season 8 was definitely Fireside. You guys made me use all my speeds. You made me use at least 3 sick days with work.
Oh, jeez.
And you guys should feel terrible about beating me up on the last the last match of the season.
I wasn't in that match.
Well, you should feel bad anyway.
That was a good one.
Good for you guys. I am shirtless right now, murderous.
I think all the guilds here on the panel should take a second to acknowledge some of the kind of key players in your guild. I'll start. I just want to give a shout out to Jervis. He was in the first merger that we ever had, and he's been with me since then. It took me a little while to convince him to join my guild, Fables, the original one, but he's been right by my side ever since. And then later, Dustin came in, and they've kind of been, my two little extra musketeers. They followed me everywhere we've gone. We've always fought together, and I can't imagine playing Conquest without them, so I want to give them a shout-out.
Kind words for 2 great men. Dustin, you are the man. More than Jarvis. Not that Jarvis is bad.
Yeah, so I gotta say, most of my energy goes to Valley and creating new teams and testing out the newest champions that are released. But the deputies and the leader of Diamond Dogs are fantastic in Guild Conquest. They put forth a ton of energy. Supia, Moregrave, Admiral Fearheart, Grawl, who's actually a whale but works a ton, so you don't see him as much. But Steph, she's amazing. They really take down people in Guild Conquest kind of just by themselves a lot of the time. So major props, hats off to them. Thank you for all you do.
Sid, I'm not going to call out many specific names, but I gotta give it to all my littles, because that's what we call the guys that aren't really there to do the big fights. But I ran out of speeds probably 6 or 7 rounds before the end of the match, and those guys were just flying around the map like crackheads. It was amazing. It just makes us really tough to fight. So,
Tainted Dragon's been muted most of the call. So, Azrael, what do you want to say about your guild?
Yo. So yeah, 2 obvious, Aurora and Christian, both just phenomenal presences. Lot of growth this year, or this season. Matthias, Razdar, both skyrocketing in might. Strom has been awesome to watch, going for merit. That's really the first time that I've had somebody in Guild that's been super focused on getting merit, and that's been fun to watch. So if you don't have one of those, get one. They're awesome. They good to cheer for. And then we've got littles have been awesome. Quiet Stabs, Ivory, and you guys have been solid since like day one with TD. Still there. It's been a really growth based season. Proud of y'all.
Yeah, as far as Reachforge goes, everybody there's just awesome. I mean, Kitty, of course. iFlow does a lot of behind the scenes work. He does a lot of roster work. We probably have some of the best runners in the game. Our little guys are awesome. Our big guys are awesome. We got depth, and everybody's willing to rotate. So it just works out. We're like a big family. So just shout out to all of them. Yeah, Witcher.
And I'm not going to mention any names, but it is nice when whales or high-end players are humble, when they go into a match and they treat people fairly and they're kind. We have run into some people that are, they'll lock us into our base. They'll argue with us if we tell them, hey, that's not very, kind. Like, we don't do that to other people. And so, like I said, not calling anyone out by name. You know who you are.
Call them out by name.
Major props to everybody that plays kind to the smaller guilds and lets them at least get their resource towers and stuff. Okay, I'll call one of them out by name. Kitty. There we go.
We stopped blocking in the smaller guilds because we were guilted by another guild to do it. But I've noticed as soon as a guild is big enough to do it to another guild, they do it all the time. It's always wrong when it's done to you, but then everybody does it to the people smaller than them. So, I understand people don't like the blocking. We stop blocking. We cut the map in half and let them head towards the other side if they're smaller. But I've noticed every time we've done that for a smaller guild, it's come back to bite where they've either decided to speed up at the end to grab towers, or they've or just done something inappropriate the next round to a smaller guild.
Yeah, who was that talking earlier?
The what?
Who was the one talking earlier?
That was Gnome. On my guild, as far as thanking people, I'm not the best speaker for that kind of thing, but Autumn 12 has definitely been the one that keeps everybody in check and keeps everything running smoothly. And there were so many very powerful contributions towards the back end of the season from Ducks, older players like Wishmaster and Alanon. Amur really stepped up towards the end. We had a few guest visits from Dustin from Wolfpack, who's an absolute machine for us. And I know I'm going to end up forgetting one or two people, but everybody from my guild has really put forth a maximum effort, from Elle and Kiyomi. It's just been very taxing this season because, we don't really sandbag, so we keep getting set up and we just keep fighting. And it's just at some point, you got to just take a break. And I think for this next season coming up, we're probably going to be taking a big break for the first half of the season. That's probably from our end, the D53 side of things.
I'll say on blocking,
Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say the strategy that's worked for us when we've tried to make truces is splitting the map 3 ways. Each, side getting an extra resource tower and just having a free-for-all in the center. And that seems to have worked out pretty well for us.
But that works out better for you guys because there are very few guilds that could do anything to Baron. I mean, she wants to. She could slow march around the center, and there's only 3 or 4 accounts that could actually kill her.
But she doesn't.
But I'm just saying she could, though. I'm just saying that as far as the blocking goes, a lot of people don't like it when they get blocked in. Happens to everybody.
That's why we don't.
Happens to everybody. And when it happens, you just got to accept it and not, it's not personal. People are playing the game to win, and they're trying to save resources so they can win the next round. I'm not saying I'm pro-blocking, but I just don't believe in complaining about it.
Like
it's part of the
making
game. It's
excuses.
definitely
It's not
definitely
necessary.
cheaper. It's definitely cheaper resource-wise to block a guild than it is to chase them around the map.
You know, I'll say
And a lot of
this:
times,
I came up with with an alt recently, and got a really good perspective of the lower, like Seastone, friggin' those levels. Blocking is prevalent down there. So these new accounts, they're coming into the game. That's what they're presented with. And then they get up to the top 50 and we're like, there's a better way to play, right? Well, we can't hold it against them because that's really what they're being spoon-fed from day one.
And this goes with the matchmaking, of course. So can we talk about some strategies to destroy some blockades? Like, people need to rally more. You need to get your top player to organize the rally. Can we talk about some strategies to maybe get through a blockade?
Well, you definitely have
Rallies
to.
are key in communicating your rallies.
You definitely want to do 2 rallies at the same time. You know, trying to cover as much as the middle as you can to try to give yourself the biggest window to escape. But yeah, the sad thing is with this game is I think the player base is shrinking, so the power gaps between the different guilds keeps getting bigger and bigger. And I think the best thing this game could do would be to give us speed cards for the rallies again. You know, let us speed the rally up so we could really punch through the middle, go across the other side of the map, and then disperse in 5 different directions. You know, that's what I'd like to see.
I think.
Speed up the rally.
For us this season, getting out of base with some rallies was pretty key. Having the ability to speed would have been would definitely make that a lot quicker and a lot more accessible for everyone. I guess also reducing the total number of speeds per turn would be down from 5 back to maybe 3 like it was in season 2 and 3. I think that would be a big advantage because if you break out, the holes can't get covered back as quick.
I also have a strategy before the gates open up. You can always set a rally from one of the 3 gates to one of the other 3 gates. So you essentially take your rally out into the middle, kill as many teams as you can, and then wind up in the safety of your own gate. Now, of course, that doesn't matter after they open the gates.
Well, a lot of guilds do that. You know, you go gate to gate to try and keep the lanes open.
Yeah, Rom does it all the time.
In fact, I get mad.
That's a very good strategy.
If anyone from my guild sets a rogue rally, I get angry. But Eligos is a known block. Eligos is a known blocker, and he probably gets complaints about his blocking.
Here's a question for you. Have you ever set 2 rallies about a minute apart with the same duration before they begin, and then set them, you can't go to the same point, but basically use the same path with the ending point being at 2 different spots? So you hit a blocker with 2 different large rallies that are spaced only a minute apart. So if the first rally happens to weaken them, maybe the second rally can finish them off. Has anyone ever done that?
No, they'll heal too quickly. You want to make sure that the rally you send can kill everything. There's no point in letting a rally go if you don't have something in there that can kill anybody on the map. You also, I like to set rallies to launch at the same time from 2 different directions. I'll intersect, and anyone who's played against me will notice that I just keep having the rallies go. And
I see where you're at with that. Like,
yeah, we see.
Like, not everybody has a team that can just take out anybody on the map with a rally. Like, so I can see where setting a duel would maybe be useful for us smaller guys.
No, because if you have two rallies hitting the same target at different times, it's not going to be as effective as one rally with more people in it hitting.
Oh, yeah, you might as well join one rally.
So if you're going to do 2 rallies,
so the thing is with these smaller guilds though, they can't bust through somebody that's 900 million if they got a rally at 300% or 280%. but their biggest guy is 300 million. They're still not breaking through, so the rally system is broke in a way.
I'd like a faster.
I think
What would your
that's a matchmaking issue there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's more of a matchmaking issue. If your biggest account's 300 million and you're going up against somebody who's $1 billion or 1.2 billion, you shouldn't be going up against them, honestly.
But hold on, I got a rally problem. Why is it that you could start one for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then it jumps to an hour, and then it jumps to 120 minutes, when it takes 40 minutes to get to join a rally at the gate, from crystal to gate? Like, how come we don't have the ability to set rallies with a better time differential? Or when you join the rally, maybe the team should be joining it, double speed. Because if you want to join a rally that's 3 towers away, you have to set it for an hour if you want to get there, or you have to speed up to get to the thing.
A member of my guild also mentioned something that might be kind of nice, and let me get your opinion on it. What if there were also other towers, instead of just your shrines for your buffs? What if you landed on a tower and it did give you a temporary speed boost, but it's only that tower? So you might incorporate that into your movement, into your logistics, or ability to get rewards. Instead of just amethyst, what if you hold a tower for 10 or 30 minutes and you can collect like some energy potions or something? Do you think that would be appealing?
The only problem with that, from my perspective, is if once you set that up, you'd have a player like Kitty would just circle the map at 5x and take everything from you. And then she'd park on there, and you're not moving her off.
I would too.
And the only players that could knock them off is a very small pool of players that can kill those accounts.
I did have a guild member of mine come up with an idea for stopping people from camping on certain towers. And that's if you're camping on for a set amount of time, you start losing health or have some other penalty. So you can't just camp on a tower outside your base.
Oh, that was my idea. There should be a negative buff for sitting in front of someone's gates.
What about, or teleport you back to the crystal? If you're sitting on a tower and you don't move for 4 hours or 3 hours, then it'll just teleport you back to the crystal, make you start over.
Yep.
Nobody likes sleeping here then.
No, if I understand the problem of getting blocked in and it being very demoralizing. I would just think that if somebody's sitting on the gates outside that are blocking you, if these guys had the ability to throw more stuff into the map, or maybe if those towers have a negative buff, so if you're sitting on them, half your health is gone. When the fight starts, that would probably make people not really want to sit there and get sent for the long march home. Or maybe or fog of war. Like
all they have to do is back off the tower and then recall their team right back to the tower, and it restarts the time.
Well, they can make it where you have to reach another tower for that to happen. So you'd have to keep bouncing between the 2 towers.
I think you're giving the people coding this game a lot more credit than they probably deserve.
No, I agree with you. We had a conversation yesterday where I was saying that I can't stand the fact they keep asking us, "Do you want to watch the fight?" I'm running around the map trying not to get hit by certain players and trying to catch other ones where if I click watch the fight by accident, it could cost me the run, me speeding around the map. Why do they keep asking us if we want to watch the fight?
Yeah, the default is
on the same
to watch it.
where you confirm your speeds.
So I feel Go Games' objective is to get people to log in as much as possible, and that includes whales as well and big spenders. So if people teleported back to the crystal every 3 hours, if you don't access your team on a tower, that would just cause people to log in more. It allows smaller teams to move across the map. I think everybody would accomplish what they wanted if that happened. I mean, people that just log off for 12 hours and set their huge team on a tower, they're going to be pissed, but hey, they could just start back over from the crystal.
I think you're underestimating those people. If Elagos is going to sit outside your gate, he's going to be watching the whole time while he's sitting there, waiting for you to do something so he can catch you.
I think that you're way off the mark with both mission statement. I mean, their real statement isn't getting you to log in; it's getting you to log in with your Visa.
That is true.
I mean, having to log in all the time causes FOMO, and that causes that card to come out.
But on a positive note, this game does have problems that are absolutely awful. But the important thing is, though, is that we as a community stick together, because that's what makes the game fun. Like, even though there are some negative rivalries where there is a little bit of heat, it's that heat that keeps us playing, and supporting, our friends that play the game. It keeps us, working as a unit, working together. It keeps certain guild allies working together. But if Go Games abuses us, well, then sometimes maybe, that does hurt the community. I'm just saying that I love the community a lot more than I like the game.
I agree.
And events like this are really meant for us to remind each other that after a season where a lot of people put a lot of hard work in, and some people don't care. They're like, oh, you got first in Conquest, big deal. Getting first in Conquest is a big deal. Getting top 10, is a big deal. Because to do it, a lot of people got to sacrifice a lot of sleep. And I congratulate everybody who's made that sacrifice. And I encourage anybody else who wants to challenge any of us for our spot. Even with the matchmaking not being so good, even with the points at the end not making any sense really half the time, the glitches, the bugs, all that crap, we still have to play around it, and I still enjoy doing that.
It's a good game.
I've got to call this out of rain, guys. But I did want to say thanks for the panel. Thanks, one more thanks to my guild. We got about 10 spots for recruiting, so that's goated. And I'm getting out of here. So have a good night, guys.
Be well.
Thank you for participating.
Bye.
Later, none.
Can we open up the stage to some of the people in the audience?
I
No.
will say too that without guilds like D53 or any of the NWO, all the people that we fought Toothless's guild, Guild Conquest would be boring for us.
I wish Guild Conquest was boring.
You guys keep it fun. I mean, sleep's overrated.
But I thank you too, Eligos. Your guild has been a pain for, I'd say, the last 4 seasons.
I'm at peace where I'm at, so I ain't got to deal with none of you guys anymore.
What are you talking about? We traded for you.
We miss you.
I don't have to deal with Eligos, Kitty, Rom, Kill the Noise, all of you guys. I get to enjoy my sleep at night.
What are you talking about? You were on call the other day till 2 in the morning.
And that's one thing too, for anybody listening. Guild Conquest is fun. If you enjoy the game and enjoy your time, don't go to the top 10.
Top 10 sucks.
It's not for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess it's been an hour and 10 minutes. I don't know if we wrap this up. Do people want to keep going? Does more questions want to come from the crowd? Maybe asking individual questions of the players up here. Does Ben Bilko want to come up on stage?
We still have guilds who wanted to give shout out.
Ooh, reading shout outs.
I want to give a shout out to Twisted Legends. They took me in with open arms, knowing that I'm a bigger player in the game. And they're all very small members. Tori, Puss in Boots, and all the other ones, they have done an amazing job as running, because some of them are Europeans, and so they're when the U.S. is up in bed, they're up running around, making sure that we keep what we have. So I want to thank them for letting me come into their guild and get away from everybody.
I'd really like to shout out to Moria. We are a new guild basically this season, but every one of the players have already been in top 50 before. but every single one of them is just fantastic. We've got smaller players, bigger players. We've got Rug and Mar, who are our big hitters, which is brilliant. We've got Pip, who runs our Discord. She does a great job. Momo, our Insomniac. There's just so many people that just make our guild and our Discord what it is. So thank you all.
Yeah, I might give a quick shout out to Mav. He's the GM Sanctuary. Sanctuary's a merge of a few guilds with lots of personalities involved, but he manages everyone, and he's, I guess, put a good team and a good group together.
I'll give a couple shout outs for Valorious. First one would be for Lithas. She's our powerhouse for our guild. Definitely our strongest one, and definitely helped us get to where we are. And then the rest would be for my deputies. First one would be Vexedium. She is always there whenever I need somebody there or need something to get done or I'm not around. She helps me take care of it, helps me get through a lot of stuff, as well as Stormy Wolf and as well as Grumpy Old Man. All of my deputies, they put in a lot of work, a lot of time, figuring out a lot of things. So definitely shout out to all of them.
Also, I wanted to give an open invitation to anybody, any of the speakers today, or anybody that's down in the audience. One of the new additions I'm going to add to the Nomish School of Strategy is doing some interviews, which I should have been doing a long time ago, but I figured out the bot to record the conversations. And so if any of you all want to sit down and have a technical discussion with me about Lithas and different champions and synergies, I would love that. So open invitation to all of you.
I definitely would like to thank everybody over at Fireside for this season. It's hard to go down a list because everybody that participated was amazing. We had people like Grave Pact and Seamus and Money and Baroness that all did just so much, but there's tons that I'm not remembering or listing right now.
Yeah, don't forget XYZ. He's a real pain in my my backside. Or ZYX, whatever the hell his name is.
I'm sure he'll continue to be.
Yep, ZYX.
I think we still have Myth Dragon left.
Yeah, thanks, Linnea. Kudos for my team as well in Valor. Our Lady Rosa, I'll start with her, and my deputies Max, Mo, and Derfel. Big shout out. Couldn't have done without you guys. We finished at 15, and we're looking for top 10 next season. So I hope I'll meet you guys more in the top ladder.
Do you think that is everyone except me? And my biggest shout out, of course, goes to Eldane, who is our carrying force. We would not be in this rank without him. But the help of Mayhem too. And we started this season actually with about 10 members. Went almost halfway season like that. And then we had 2 bigger merges with smaller guilds, and it has been absolutely amazing. We have a full guild now with 50 active people, and they are all amazing.
I guess, who wants to wrap it up? Anybody got any inspirational words they want to break out? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller?
Shirtless needs to sing happy birthday to Dustin.
Ah, it's Dustin's birthday?
That's what I'm reading in chat.
Oh, happy 75th birthday. He's a senior citizen, by the way. That's a picture of his grandson on his Discord.
Thank you all so much for hosting. We really appreciate you. We need more community events like this, so keep it up. Thank you so much.
Next one, we'll have a proper MC instead of me.
Next one, maybe we will have more time to actually set it up. This was literally done in 2 days.
We get Ghost Wolf out
You
of...
guys did a really good job, though.
I'm gonna play this back and listen to it, and I'm gonna be horrified. Right? There's gonna be so many bad jokes and awkward pauses when I spoke. I'm gonna have to probably, out of this hour and a half, I'll be lucky if I could find, 5 minutes where I don't sound like a complete tool.
Just add funny sounds.
Yeah, I could change everybody's voice a little bit. I can make Elegos high pitched.
I think the biggest thing is everybody it's a game. If it does, not every match is going to go your way. If you enjoy the game, keep playing it. If play it the way you want, don't play it the way other people make you play.
Exactly.
So, for those of you who are listening.
That's a subliminal endorsement for blocking at the gates, by the way.
Absolutely. It's called Guild Conquest, so
Again, I've never complained.
Let's be friends and hold hands.
I've never complained about getting
I know
blocked.
some people get so mad about it.
I got yelled at so much once by Baron over blocking. It wasn't worth the aggravation, so I stopped blocking.
I get a lot of hate DMs from playing Guild Conquest, but it is what it is.
Those who don't like blocking, it just gives us a bigger challenge to find a way around it.
All right, for a season 8 recap video, we have a hard time making this stuff because it's very difficult to be creative and make them interesting. So if you finished in the top 5 and you guys want me to make a season 8 recap, I'm gonna need you guys to write down what you want said about your guild, maybe some voice clips of you guys congratulating the guild, and some idea what you want me to do. I could take a movie clip and dub them. I could do a little bit of refacing, or I could just do the standard cheesy stuff. But if you want the season 8 recap is going to happen, I'm going to need some help from all you guys to put it together. And you got to keep it PG.
Just take all the all the thank yous that we did in here and just put it in it.
Yeah, it won't work.
Wow, that's wrong.
I thought I just did wow you guys.
I enjoyed the last one.
I did. I thought it was really. That was every time I watched it, I crack up, getting beat up by Baron C.
It was pretty good.
All right, Toothless, you want
plans for the next one?
Well, next one would be the season recap. It'd be a cheesy one.
Perfect.
Or half cheesy, maybe half sarcastic.
Oh, we're getting love for it in the chat as well.
Say that again?
Getting love for it in the chat as well. Your video.
I can't post it in this chat. But what So, Toothless, why don't you close us out? Tooth?
I think everyone wants already to close it out. They want to hear the accent.
That's you, Rom.
Sure, if you want to go for it.
Okay. Thank you so much for everyone coming and listening to us, and thank you for everyone who participated. Thank you very much to Rom and Elena for hosting everybody and for sorting out in 2 days. You guys did a fantastic job. Hopefully we'll do it again soon. I think there are some plans too, aren't there? But thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you all later. Bye.